What's up, guys? The WOD nutritionist, Coach Justin here. Here at CBG, we help you lose body fat, build muscle, crush your WODs without tracking macros. Today's topic is all going to be about my experience working with Danielle at semifinals and all of her nutrition secrets that we followed to get her another ticket to the CrossFit Games. Pretty exciting stuff, I must say, but I'm going to go through exactly what we did from the beginning of the week leading up to semifinals to what we actually did at semifinals and some behind the scenes stuff that gives you a little bit of glimpse into who Danielle is and how special of an opportunity this was for me to actually be able to work with her and be able to work with her at the games this year. So to start, leading up into the games, it's really about planning things ahead and prioritizing nutrition to make sure you have a plan. The last thing you want to do is head out there, not know your environment, meaning what restaurants are around the hotel, what food do we have access to around the hotel or around the venue, what is the spacing between events so that you know if you're going to be able to get in a solid meal, get in a liquid meal, or what's available to you in general. And so this is very important. So ahead of time, I actually called the hotel to see what they had available at the complimentary breakfast in the morning, what coffee shops were around, what restaurants were around, if there was a Chipotle, what other restaurants and basically grocery stores were around in case we needed to pick up a few different things so that we could definitely plan ahead to make sure we had enough. Also, if you're an athlete and you're staying at a hotel, you need to know what's available. Is there a microwave? Is there a refrigerator? Do you have a kitchen inside your hotel? Do you have a kitchenette? This is all super important. So for Danielle, we knew she wouldn't have a kitchen. We knew she would have a microwave, and we also knew that she would have a refrigerator, but we needed to make sure that we planned and prepped all of her meals ahead of time. One thing that could be very useful for a lot of you athletes out there, for those of you doing multiple day competitions and staying out of your current home or not in an Airbnb, is to use a meal prep company. Meal prep companies are a really great way for you to make sure that you have things already prepared and then you can just pop it right in the microwave. Super easy, super consistent, so that you make sure you have enough. So this is all the things that we did leading up. One other thing that we did was we carb loaded, which, as you guys seen in some of my other videos, is super important to make sure we're topping off glycogen stores and we have enough carbohydrates to fuel properly for the workouts leading into what was 3, 4, 5, 6 total events over 3 days. So we carb loaded by adding in an extra 60 to 80 grams of carbohydrates every day starting in the beginning of the week on Tuesday, knowing that she was going to be doing her first event on Friday. So these are all things you can do ahead of time. The other key outside of carbohydrate loading is also hydration loading. And this is where we start incorporating Pedialyte that has an excess of sodium and potassium to make sure that we are completely hydrated going into the weekend. It doesn't take one day to hydrate, it actually takes multiple days. And hydration is not just about water, but also about the electrolyte balance and the sodium and potassium being the two most important electrolytes for athletes. So this is what we did ahead of time. Once we got out there, we already had our planned meals using a meal prep company, which made things a lot easier. But then we needed to make sure we got enough snacks and enough fuel in general for between events and before events for the entire weekend. So what I did was I headed over into a grocery store and got a multitude of different carbohydrate sources and some little protein snacks as well. I'll actually show a picture up here for you guys of the plethora of snacks that I got from the grocery store, and we utilized a lot of these throughout and in between events. As you can see, a lot of these snacks are very quick digestible, sugary types of carbohydrates. Gatorade, which is our source of carbohydrates and electrolytes, which is good. Pedialyte, which is our source of not really so much carbs, but just actual electrolytes. Carb powder we used from X Endurance, Fuel 5. We also have some beef jerky sticks, makes it really easy to get in some protein throughout the day. Also, we did Fig Newton bars, we did Uncrustables, we did Pop-Tart bites, we did Skittles. A lot of things that easily and quickly digest into the bloodstream and get to active working muscle tissue so we can recover glycogen and get into the next workout. Justin, what the hell? This stuff's really unhealthy. Yes, I understand. However, the only way that we're going to get out there and compete in a way that's meaningful and be able to top off glycogen for a next event, we have to use this nutrient timing strategy, meaning we have to sacrifice food quality to get in the amount of carbohydrates that are dense and that allow for glycogen to be replenished so that she can crush the next workout. Keep in mind, when these athletes are working out at this level in this intensity, there is no blood rushing to the stomach to help with digestion. Blood is rushing to working muscle tissue to help recover it. So eating a lot of fiber, a lot of fat, and unprocessed, really healthy unhealthy alternatives in foods, it's not really going to digest very well, which can lead to a lot of GI distress and the athlete not getting fueled in time for the next workout. Easily digestible carbohydrates like white bread and jelly, Gatorades, things that are already liquid make it very easy for the athlete to recover and then push the next workout. And this is where nutrient timing can become very, very important. Also keep in mind, these foods, although they're not the healthiest, we're getting in healthy foods all throughout the year to support Danielle with her training. These foods are really calorically dense, meaning that one Gatorade has a lot more calories than eating 2 cups of broccoli. We're using that to our advantage in between these workouts. So each morning, it's very simple. We tried to get in somewhere between 20 grams of protein, usually from eggs, 15 grams of fat, also from eggs, and then 60 to 80 grams of carbohydrates, usually with the banana, which will have some potassium in it. We'll also top off fructose, which helps saturate the liver, and then of course glucose on top of that, glycogen on top of that, with usually a bagel with cream cheese. So that was a standard breakfast for us, worked really well. And then a cinnamon coffee, very, very good. So after that, the events basically were starting throughout the day, and so we brought snacks with us there, and if we had time, we actually tried to eat a solid meal in between. So what that looks like is having somewhere between around 30 to 40 grams of carbohydrates before each event. Could be an Uncrustable, could be a Fig Newton bar, something very easy. We actually do the event. Immediately after each event, protein shake, 20 to 30 grams of protein, and then also another 40 to 60 grams of Fuel 5, which is the X Endurance carbohydrate powder. Super easy, mix it together, tastes really good, down it, and then from there, we're eating something in between events as well. If very few hours between the events, we usually would go to other snacks that I showed you guys in the pictures earlier, and also constantly drinking either a Pedialyte or a Gatorade in between all of the events as well. If we had enough time, we usually ended up at Chipotle. Super easy. You can get a bowl that has chicken, double protein always, rice, pico. If you want to do a burrito, it's also good because you get in extra carbs from the actual tortilla. And this is what we did usually when we had enough time in between events. Super easy, super cool, and stress-free. And I know that Danielle had mentioned in a video with the CrossFit Games that this was most fun she's had eating, which is cool because this is the first time I actually helped her do this. And I had some help from another nutrition coach, Sabrina, that was there with me, which was also really great because it really does take a team to do this. I actually was just so surprised, talking to Danielle, that she's never had that type of support on the nutrition side before. And it really makes me eager to help other athletes do the same thing, where I basically use a strategy to give her something and say, eat this, or that looks really tasty. We should eat this right now. Or man, you look really thirsty. You look parched. You should drink some of this Gatorade. So that she's just constantly eating more, and drinking more. And if an athlete is always it's very hard to put into to describe it, but if the athlete is feeling like they're already super hungry the whole time, they're not eating enough. An athlete should never be hungry throughout the entire time frame. Once you get them to that place where they're not hungry anymore, you have to push a little bit past that. Pushing a little bit past that allows for them to make sure that we've topped off everything makes sense. We just don't want to push it too far to where we do have GI distress, we have stomach issues, we feel nauseous. We don't want to overstuff anybody, but we do want to keep moving things along. So that's what we did the entire weekend. Danielle was super consistent. She didn't have below a 10th place finish. She mentioned not a lot of highs, not a lot of lows, just sticking with it in between. And I truly feel like that's how you win the CrossFit Games. I don't think nobody's won the CrossFit Games that does a 30th, then a first, and another 30th, consistent the whole way through. And I'd love to see Danielle continue to do that this year at the CrossFit Games in Texas. Other cool stuff about Danielle, it's not just this is just the nutrition shit, right? What I'm talking to you guys about, but then you have to go out there and actually perform. You have to warm up properly for each event. She also has Coach L at Brute she's working with on how to execute on the actual workout. And then she's got her mom there, her manager there. She's got me there. She's got her other friends that are helping and supporting. And so all those different inputs, right, to try to get out there and perform to the best of her ability for everybody that showed up for her. Get out there and perform to the best of her ability to make it back to the CrossFit Games. It's always stressful. We see it every year. Somebody misses out every year. A really great athlete that's a Games athlete misses out. That's a lot of pressure. You don't want to be that athlete that's been to the Games 8 times and misses out. On top of that, you have all the fans. There was a rad drop that we went to one of the days, after all the events ended, socializing. She must have took pictures with 500 people, maybe more. And to keep it all together was really astounding. Just be mentally there. I'm not saying it was just perfect the whole way through, but to be mentally there, show up for each event, be able to put together the performance events that she did, have the pressure of competing, making it back to the games, having all the fans there, like wanting to get pictures with her. And the funny thing is, if I were me, I'd be like, man, god damn, like all these pictures, like after the fans are gone, I'm like, man, why these people all taking pictures? Man, I don't want to take pictures. Not one time did she say anything like that. Not one time was like, oh, all the fans are gone. Man, that was too many pictures. I don't want to take any more pictures. Never, ever. Took pictures and was just like happy, smile on her face the whole way. Super grateful that she has the fans that she has, the support that she has. Never complained once. Just like amazing. Just like super, super dope. And so it's just astounding to see. Rad drop when we're out there. Rad is the fucking coolest team. They just have a super cool team. Lab management, super cool team. Working at a really high level with some of the best athletes in the world. It's just really cool to just see everybody get around one person that has so much talent, and then for her to actually go out there and execute and be able to do everything she could do for people that showed up for her, and then also the fans. So just super cool. Some tequila on the last night, which was a good way to unwind and recover. A lot of fun, good time, but we're ready for the CrossFit Games. So it was cool to be Danielle's coach out there. I'm not sure I'll get a badge like this again. I'll always be her coach in whatever capacity that she'll have me, but it was cool to be out there at Syndicate Crown, and it was the best put on event of all the semifinals, no question. So love you, Danielle. Really proud of you if you're watching this, and hope you guys enjoy, and hope you guys took some of these competition nutrition tips in real time. I know we talk about competition nutrition all the time, but this is actually what we did. This is actually what we did. And so hopefully you guys can utilize this at your next comp. If you're a high level performance athlete, or if you're just somebody that's doing 4 to 5 WODs per week that wants to lose body fat, build muscle, crush your WODs, and you don't want to track macros, because we didn't track macros the whole entire weekend. Pretty awesome. Go ahead. There's a link below. Click it. Book a call with me. I'll put some time on my schedule so we can chat. I can understand a little bit more about your goals and see if we can help you. Want to lose body fat, build muscle, crush your WODs? I'll see you on our Instagram page. There's plenty of free guides there. Book a call, and we'll talk soon, guys. Peace out.